Hey, how y'all doing? My name is Michael, and I'm going to be talking about the Venom trailer, Let There Be Carnage official trailer 2. Just want to give my reactions. First out, I just want to apologize. I am new to this, and I'm still figuring this out, and I don't know how to screen share yet, so I would really like for you to see what I'm looking at. But I'm going to do my best to verbalize what I'm seeing so that you can kind of understand. And if you've seen the trailer, I recommend it. If you haven't seen it, it's a good trailer. But you know, as I get better at this, I want to be able to do sort of the more standard style of reviews where you can see what I'm seeing and we can talk and go over the content together. But for right now, like I said, I'm still figuring it out, and I hope you bear with me here. But I want to get into this trailer. Might want to talk a little bit more about the MCU as well. But I'm gonna go ahead and just press play and just kind of walk through what I'm seeing. Just give my thoughts, because I do have some thoughts on this movie. I saw the first one, the Venom, I think it was just Venom, that's right. And I really liked it. I thought it was a fun movie. When I saw it in theaters, I didn't think it was great. Like I just thought, I was like, oh, that was fun, and I walked out, you know, happy. I didn't think it sucked or anything, but it's funny because I didn't see it again in the theaters. And then when it came out on like, you know, cable, HBO or whatever, it's one of those movies now that when it's on, I always have to sit and watch it, because it has that sort of hook in me, and not every movie can do that. So to me, that's something for me to, like it raises my attention, because, you know, if it hits me and it impacts me the way it did, this part 2, Let There Be Carnage, I'm gonna be happy. That's really all I can ask for. You know, we want the movies to stick with us, you know, and we want to enjoy ourselves. But, you know, it's always nice when you have that movie, and I know everyone's got one. They got their movie that they really love, and when it's on TV, you just be flipping through the channels and you see it, or you're scrolling through Netflix or Amazon or something, and then you see it. It's like, oh, I gotta watch that, you know. And Venom was that movie for me. It's one of the movies for me. So I really liked it, and I like Tom Hardy. I think he's a great actor. I've always been a supporter of his. I've seen him in a lot of movies, and he always does a great job. And I know he gets a lot of heat for Bane, doing the what was that? Dark Knight Rises, the third movie of the Chris Nolan trilogy. He got a lot of heat for that, and I think, excuse me, I had to adjust the volume for a second there, but he got heat for that because of his voice, and I know that it rubbed people the wrong way, but I always liked it. I always thought it was, I don't know why, that's just me. And you know, I appreciated the fact that, you know, he got yoked up for the role. Bane is a very large character in the comics. Again, I'm not a comic reader, so I'm just kind of basing it off the little bit that I hear from the hardcore fans and how they describe him. And I've seen him in I saw him in the video game. Oh my goodness, I can't think of it now. Oh my goodness, Arkham Knight, I think is what it's called. Yeah, it was the third game of the trilogy of Arkham Knight. But anyways, Bane was in that game, and he was just a huge character. He was very imposing, like much bigger than Bruce Wayne or Batman. And I think that Tom Hardy got heat for that movie. A lot of it was because of his voice, but if you can kind of get past that, I thought he was really cool. I thought he was a cool looking dude. He was, you know, he got really into his roles, and that's why I've always liked him as an actor. So I really liked it. The thing that always gets me with Tom, though, is he's British, and he has a cool British accent. Like, that's a cool accent. And when he does his American accent, I can kind of hear it come through sometimes. Like I'll hear that accent kind of come through on the end of a word, or at the beginning of a word, or he'll be saying something and you'll hear it. So again, I don't know. I kind of wish, and I understand, to my understanding, this character that he's playing in this movie, Venom, his name is Eddie Brock. He's American, so, you know, Tom Hardy is doing his American accent, but I kind of wish he was just doing the British, you know, his natural accent, because it sounds cool. But I like I said, I like the first movie. I've seen this trailer already a few times now, and I like it. I think it's good. So, you know, I just want to roll through, just kind of talk through it a little bit. I'm not going to go, you know, every frame by frame, but I will be just kind of stopping and pausing. And again, I'm sorry, I wish you could see what I'm saying, but I will figure it out, and we will do this. We'll do this again with another trailer, because I would love for you to see what I'm looking at. Yeah, so, you know, the trailer starts off where it's it's Eddie Brock. He's on his motorcycle, and then it kind of cut to some Venom scenes, and you can see where they're going with the story. That Venom, and if you don't know, Venom is an alien symbiote, and he can only live, the alien race can live, it lives through hosts, and he's inside of Eddie Brock's body, and he's very powerful. He basically can make Eddie Brock's his body invulnerable. He can, if he breaks his bones, Venom can fix them. Makes, when he turns into Venom, he's very powerful, and he's cool. Venom is one of the coolest characters in all of comics. And again, I'm not a comic book reader, but you don't have to be a book reader to know that Venom looks cool. Venom looks like he is, when he comes out of Eddie Brock, he is huge. His height goes up like 3 feet. He's all muscular, got claws, fangs, crazy teeth, like just every tooth is a fang, and he's got some badass eyes, and he's really cool. But when he's not, when Eddie Brock, when Venom doesn't come out of Eddie's just a normal looking Joe. He's just a guy. So in this trailer, when we see Eddie, he's struggling with Venom. They're like arguing back and forth, and you can tell that time has passed since the last movie, and they're still working it out, but they're past that sort of initial what's going on, how do I handle this, which I thought they did a great job in the first movie of explaining, and I thought the character progression of learning to understand and cope with the fact that Venom needed him to live, and that that Eddie Brock needed Venom for himself, because he was struggling and all that stuff. But anyways, I don't want to get into that too much, but so in here we can kind of see right off the bat that they're not really vibing with each other. They're arguing, excuse me. And Venom, Venom wants to come out. Like, he's tired of being held back, and he wants to be what he is, which he's a human eating machine. Like, that's pretty much what he is. He actually eats people. So you can tell he's getting frustrated being locked inside of Eddie, and he wants Eddie to let him just sort of turn loose, because Eddie does have control over his own faculties, but Venom can interject. So it's like a constant tug of war with who's in the driver's seat, which it makes for a great movie, I think. But so then, yeah, we have a couple of we have like their first little comedy drop where Venom headbutts him. He headbutts Eddie, and then he apologizes, and he breaks his nose and stuff. And again, it's, any bone he breaks of Eddie's, he can fix it, like nothing. So, but it was just a little interaction I thought was funny. And again, I'm kind of like, comedy is hard. It's a hard thing to do, and I get that. But I don't like a lot of the current movies and games. I feel like dialogue on the comedy side specifically has just been on the decline. And I feel like when I see something that I think is funny, it's rare. Like, it used to be, we used to watch trailers back in the day, and, I'd be cracking up. Like, I'd be like, you watch a trailer and you'd be in the theater just laughing. Like, oh my God, I can't wait for the movie to come out. But I don't know. I just haven't seen a lot of great comedy lately. In movies, when I'm talking about, I'm just talking about like movies and TV shows, well, more like movies mainly, but, even in video games too. I see a little bit of, like, the dialogue is supposed to be funny, and they're supposed to make characters funny, but it's more cringy. So, but I think that humor, I liked it. I liked what I saw so far in the trailer when I first saw it. I actually kind of like, I kind of giggled. It was funny, And again, comedy is hard. It's not easy. So props to them for getting something. This is something right here. So I don't know anything about Carnage. I don't. Again, I'm not. I'm just a normie. That's why I named my channel something for the normies, is because I'm just a normie guy, and I'm cool with that. I don't read comic books. I'm cool with comic book readers, and they've got the knowledge. Like, listen to hardcore comic book fans, and you can learn so much. And I really enjoy listening to people who are well versed in comic books and the lore and the characters. I listen to the hardcore fans a lot because I enjoy learning. but I didn't know his name the first few times I saw this trailer, the first trailer, and then when this one came out, I saw that his name is Cletus Cassidy, and I guess that's Cletus Cassidy is played by Woody Harrelson, who to me is another great actor. He has been, I mean, he's been killing it for a long time, for many years, and I've always been a fan because he is one of those actors who does a really good job of he can be funny, he can be serious, he can be angry, and it's very believable. Like True Detective season one, he was amazing in that, and then you see him in movies like Zombieland, and he's great, he's funny, but in that particular character, it almost seems like that's how he really is in real life, but I don't know. But I've always liked Woody Harrelson. So the first time that I saw that he was in this movie, I was immediately stoked. I was very happy. He was in the post-credit scene of the first Venom movie, and I remember seeing that in the theater, and I was like, oh man, I hope, like, sometimes they'll change. Someone will appear in a movie and like a little as a side character or something, or do like a cameo, and then they might recast. So I was happy to see that, yes, Woody Harrelson is in this movie. He's going to be doing his thing, and he's most likely going to be awesome. Just looking at the trailer, I mean, the scenes that he's in, he's already killing it. So very happy about that. But his name his character's name is Cletus Cassidy, and he becomes Carnage. So that was really cool. And then we kind of see here that Cletus and I love that name, Cletus. That's a great name. Cletus and Eddie, they meet, and Cletus has been locked up. He's in prison, and Eddie is. It looks like he's going in to do a story, like do an interview. One of those, documentary style interviews with a serial killer, because that's what Eddie does. He's a reporter. But anyways, they meet, and Eddie is looking like he's doing a story. So that's I don't know where that goes, or how they get connected. I'm interested to find out. But we see him doing an interview, or I'm sorry, he meets him, and Cletus is locked up inside of his cell, and you kind of there's a couple of like cuts, but then we see that Cletus bites Eddie Brock's hand. He pulls his hand through, and he like bites his hand. And there's a really cool scene where right after that, like when he bites his hand, and Cletus says, "I've tasted blood, and that's not it." And I thought that was really cool, because it's a cue, or I'm sorry, it's a little line that really tells you a lot about, just that line just tells you so much. He's tasted blood, and that because now we know this guy's, he's not just, he is crazy. Like, he's an insane person. And I really thought that line really, that hit me. I don't know why it stuck. It was just like, oh man, this dude's crazy. He's tasted blood. Does he drink it? So yeah, I was cool with that. I love little things like that. I love it when movies can take exposition and or dialogue, and they fill you in on something without heavy-handedly like leading you through. Like, I'm the greatest so-and-so, and I was born this year, and my name is so-and-so. I hate when TV shows and movies do that. I like it when it's subtle, because that's the best. You want to be able to see them act natural in their roles and in the world that's been created, and learn about them. And I hate when movies and TV shows, they do like exposition dumps to fill you in on who is who and what their motivations are. Show me, like, show me, don't tell me. So, but that line, I really like that line. And obviously, Woody Harrelson's delivering it, so it's legit. Like, you can tell he's something, and I think, that moment is probably how my guess is the symbiote that is inside of Eddie Brock, Venom, gets into Cletus in some way. I'm assuming that's how it happens. Now, they don't show that specifically, but I'm assuming that's probably how Cletus gets infected, because then he becomes Carnage. So yeah, that was a really cool scene. I like that. And then we see Cletus is actually set up for execution, and he's on the table waiting for his lethal injection. And it was kind of a callback scene to me, because in the first Venom movie, that scene in the trailer, like I think it was the very first teaser trailer for Venom 1, or just Venom, we see Tom Hardy, and he's laying down, and he has like he looks like he's in a hospital. He has like the gown, and his face just goes nuts, and it's like whoa. And then it was a few more scenes, and then we find out it was Venom. I think that was the very first time I saw that, or saw the when I saw the trailer, I was like, "What the hell is this?" And then you see that it's Venom. But I thought it was cool because it was a very similar scene that we see with Woody Harrelson's character with Cletus. He's laying down. He has like, he's in like prison, whatever you call them. I don't know what you would call them, like garments, but he's laying down. Even the lighting was the same, but then you see we see Carnage come out of him. And it was a really cool scene. I like that scene. And again, great acting. The CGI looks good. It's always tough for me when it comes to special effects with CGI with trailers, because yes, the trailer, they're going to put their best foot forward. They want to draw us in, and they want us to be excited for what we're seeing, and it needs to be believable. But I didn't think it was like grade A CGI in the trailer. So I hope it gets cleaned up a little bit. And maybe it's just the fact that I'm watching it on a small screen, and it's not like it's built for the big screen. So maybe it'll probably look better, but I didn't think it was fantastic, but it was good enough. I mean, it looks pretty awesome. Like Carnage looks insane. And then we see Carnage, like the next scene, it looks like he's breaking out of prison, because you see he's walking down the cell block. Carnage is in full form. He's got tentacles coming out of his back. He's looking badass. And the difference between Carnage and Venom, even though they're the same species, the host that these aliens are using are both, they're the same species. He looks very different. Carnage looks like all fleshy. Like he looks gross, but it looks cool. It's pretty badass. I wish he was a little more red. I don't think he's red enough. I don't know, just from my personal taste. I think but yeah, he looks like flesh. And Venom is more, his skin is more smooth and shiny and slick, which is awesome, and it looks great. But I thought that was interesting that Carnage is obviously, he's not exactly like Venom. He's different. But yeah, he's walking down, he's breaking out of prison. We see him, he's just tearing the place up. He's killing people. And that's another thing too. I take a second on that, because I saw at the end of the trailer, and I was looking for what the rating was, because just this one scene, we see Venom, he's holding up a prison guard, and I'm sorry, not Venom, Carnage. He's holding up a prison guard. He's got him off the ground, and he like stabs him in the head or in the mouth with one of his tentacles. And I was like, wow, this ain't for kids, which I'm cool with. I'm totally cool with. But Marvel tends to keep it pretty light. So I'm hoping that I hope this movie, I don't know. I mean, it would be great if it was rated R, but I know Marvel's, is owned by Disney. They're never going to do that. If they did, I'd be shocked. So I'd be curious what the rating is and just how hard they're going to go with, because, just speaking of like the rating, it's like, you got to remember that Cletus he's a serial killer. He's a murderer. He's on death row, and the way they're setting it up, it's like he's a mass murderer. He's not just someone who's, knocked off a few people. This guy has a list that he's completed. So he's a really bad dude. And obviously it's, this, I don't think this is really aimed at children. But I'd just be curious what the rating's going to be, and just if they're going to get messy with this one, if we're going to see blood, or, because in the first one we see Venom actually eat humans. So that was pretty shocking, for a Disney movie. But yeah, I'm curious of where they're going to go, and how hard in the paint are they going to go with this one. I wish they would I really do, just for my own selfish reasons, I wish it was rated R, because then you can just kind of let loose. You can have fun with it. You don't have to worry so much about like making sure it's clean and making sure it's not too scary. But, I don't think it's going to be that. And then, so we see Carnage. He's tearing some stuff up. He pulls down a helicopter in the next scene, and he's obviously very powerful, and he looks way more powerful than Venom does. Because Venom, so for those who don't know, if you haven't seen the first movie, Venom is he's fast, he's super strong, he's invulnerable to bullets. The only thing that can really hurt him, like his kryptonite, because every character has to have, like, they have to have some sort of kryptonite, like Superman's kryptonite, is frequencies, like, like loud frequencies we see in the first movie, like a plane flies over and it just, it actually knocks him down. So frequencies hurt, and they actually, that was used to defeat the other bad symbiote in the first movie. And it was used. There was a frequency that the character, I can't remember her name, Eddie Brock's his ex fiance, former fiance. She steps in and kind of helps him out, like saves him with. She turns this like loud speaker on and blasts this frequency out, and it actually really affects and I don't remember the name of the villain in the first movie. He was like some pharmaceutical guy, and regardless, I don't remember his name. He was kind of forgetful, anyways. But I'm curious, talking about the frequencies and the kryptonite and the weaknesses of this character. Is he going to have the same weaknesses as Venom and as the other alien? I'm wondering if it's going to be something different, because that alien in the first one, the villain in Venom, he could do things that Venom could not. And we're already seeing, and what I mean by that is, like, he could do things with his body. He could throw things with his body. He could extend his body really far. His arms, and they would be like different spikes and like hammers and stuff. And it was really cool. And Venom can't do that. At least, I mean, we see him do the same, something similar, by he can send out tentacles to do things, but I don't remember him ever doing anything like the villain did, like the other alien in the first one. And again, even then, Venom was afraid of that alien because he was more powerful. I wonder if what's his name, like Alpha or something. But anyways, I'm just curious if what is Carnage's weakness, because they got to have some sort of weakness. There's got to be something that's going to be, the Hail Mary pass at the end of the movie, where usually our hero comes through and wins. But yeah, I think Carnage looks cool, and then we see it cuts to a quick cut of Cletus, and it's Woody Harrelson. He's in human form, and he's all like clean shaven, because in the prison he's got long hair and stuff, but he's all cleaned up. So obviously he breaks out of prison, and he's got on this really cool jacket, and he's holding a picture of Eddie Brock's former fiance, who was in the first movie, who I see in this trailer. So she's going to be in this movie too, which is cool, because I liked her. I thought she was a good character. Excuse me. I'm gonna get better at this, I promise. But yeah, so we see him in human form, and he's holding a picture of Eddie Brock's former fiance. And I keep saying that it's because I don't know her name, so that's the only thing. It's like, that's what I keep going to. But then it cuts to Carnage once again in all of his glory, just tentacles spread out, and he is in front of a big stained glass window, like into the inside of a church. And yeah, he looks really cool. He does. And I just caught that too. Like in that particular shot, we see him holding himself up, like these things come out of his body, and he's holding himself up really high in the air. And then other spikes are coming out of him, and they turn into different shapes. Like one looks like a meat cleaver, and yeah, so he can make very specific shapes with his body. And this was another scene right after. So we see Carnage do that, and then he's looking cool. He's staring Venom down, and it's funny because the camera cuts to Venom, and you can see him, and he's like, "Holy crap!" And he backs out, like completely, just goes back inside of Eddie Brock's body and leaves him just hanging. And they have a little back and forth. And again, it was subtle enough that I thought it wasn't. I didn't think it was like hysterically funny, but it was humorous, and I like that. I appreciated that, because they go back and forth, and Eddie, he promises that he'll let Venom eat all the people, and Venom's like, hell yeah, let's do this. And then he comes out, and then the next scene, when we see when Venom comes out, and then he's charging Carnage. And it's another thing that I don't remember from the first movie if the villain can do this, but he's firing thorns or like spikes out of his tentacles, like I don't know, like darts. So like yeah, it's like darts just flying at Venom, and he's bobbing and weaving, charging towards Carnage. So again, something that he can do that Venom cannot, which makes makes him pretty cool. And then we just moving along, and then there's a lot of quick cuts, and I get it when trailers do this, but it kind of makes it hard, and that's why I wish you could see what I'm seeing, because it clips and cuts and cuts and cuts and cuts. So there's so many little things that are going on. They show you so fast, and there's one character on here that we see that is a new character, and I don't know the lore, and I don't know anything about this character. I don't know her from anything, but she obviously has some sort of power. She's a woman, and she's being held in some sort of medical facility similar to what was going on in the first Venom movie. So I don't know if she's another patient or another experiment type thing where she's being tested on and, just, going through basically just being tortured, which was going on in the first movie. So I wonder if that's going to transfer that, if that's the same thing, or if this is like a whole new corporation or whatever. But we see her, and she has a power where we see her scream, and you can actually, it's like forceful, like she's like blowing things down with her scream, and she has some cool looking eyes. So I don't know who she is. Again, they show her just really quick, and they show her a couple of times. So I'm just curious of who she's going to be, because I'm interested. Like the movies, like I said, there's a lot of pieces here that I'm liking. And this was another one where I was like, oh, who's this? Another one, like another sort of like alien, or another superhero, or what? Like, cause I don't know, again, I don't know comic books. So, and I don't know, I don't know I've never heard of there's no hero or villain that I know that uses screaming that I know of from like movies and stuff. Cause that's where I get all my information, when I'm not listening to like hardcore comic book readers. And then we're moving along here, and just some more shots of Venom, and some more shots of a fight. Like I said, there's a fight going on. But then we get to the end, and they splash the title across, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, and then it cuts and gets quiet again. And it's Eddie with his former fiance, and they're at a table, and she shows him her ring, and she's got this like just big ass diamond on her finger, and he's like, whoa. And she's kind of, you can tell they had a good chemistry going on in the first movie. I didn't think it was great, but it was good enough to be believable. Like you could tell that it was believable that they were a couple at one point. But obviously she's moved on. And in the first movie, we saw that she moved on. She was with a doctor who actually, I thought that was another thing I liked about Venom that I really liked, with her character moving on and her having a new boyfriend who was a doctor. And instead of making Eddie Brock and the new guy, like have them be some, just they hate each other and it's just a fight or whatever, they actually got along. And I actually really liked the fact that they made her new boyfriend, who is now her fiance, he actually helps Eddie out, and he helps her out. He's doing it because he loves her, but it was cool. It was a nice it was a different move, because typically he's just the new bad guy, and she's going to fall back in love with Eddie Brock. And that's kind of where I thought it was going to go, but it went differently, and she stayed with him, and it was cool. I was cool with that. I like that storyline. But we see the doctor's back, and when she shows him the ring, he's all surprised. And then the cool thing that I like about Venom is that we, as an audience, we get to hear what he's saying to Eddie, but no one around him can hear Venom at all. So it's like a voice in Eddie Brock's head, basically. And when she shows the ring, he has a big reaction, and he's like, whoa, that should have been us. And I thought that was cool. It's, like I said, not super hysterical, but humorous. And then we cut to the next scene where so the ex-fiance and her new man are in the car, and Eddie's congratulating him, and he's shaking his hand. And it was funny. This actually made me laugh, because he shook his hand and said congratulations, and then you can hear Venom inside. He said something I can't remember off the top of my head, but he yells something, and he makes Eddie slap him with his other hand, and it was funny. It came off as funny to me. And then they cut with the new boyfriend, or I'm sorry, the fiance. He says those two really need couples counseling. And I thought that was funny. I thought that was another line that landed with me. Again, they weren't crushing it with the comedy, but it was funny enough. So I'm excited for this movie. I am. Like I said, I really liked the first one, and don't get it twisted. I didn't think the first one was like some blockbuster, amazing, best Marvel movie ever. Not even close. But it was really fun to watch, and I enjoyed it. It was pretty basic in terms of the story and the plot, but like I said, it got my attention, and I always enjoy watching it. And I hope this is the same. I really do. Marvel has been, excuse me, Marvel has been since Endgame, which I thought it was good. I did not think it was amazing. Now I think it lands in that sort of great movie, like, oh, that was a great movie, but it wasn't like fantastic, like 10 out of 10. I actually really enjoy Infinity War way more than I do Endgame. Infinity War was a great villain's tale. Um, and I really enjoyed it more because we got to meet Thanos, and they brought him in just perfectly. I was really invested in that character, but I didn't really. And Endgame came around, and again, it was a nice clean wrap up, and there were some really great moments in that movie that I really liked, but it didn't really it didn't meet the standards of Infinity War. But Marvel has been, I mean, they're just not they it's like they lost a step, and they're just sort of expecting that all they have to do is say, Disney, Marvel, or Marvel, Disney, whatever presents, and then they throw out some, a character's name, and the customer's just going to come running. And I don't think that's what's going on right now. Or I don't think that's working for them. Like that, I think that's what they're trying to do, and that's what they've been doing since Endgame. They have been putting out shows and movies that haven't really hit the mark. Now, I'm going to be upfront with you. I I haven't watched Loki. I haven't watched what was the other one with oh my goodness, with Scarlet Witch. It looked really cool. I remember the trailer for that one. Oh my goodness, I can't remember the name. Anyways, there was that show, and then there was another one. Um, let's see, it was the Scarlet Witch show, their movie or whatever. Oh, it was a show. It was on Disney Plus, and then there was Loki, and I'm missing another one. But regardless, they didn't land with me at all. Like this trailer to me it made me want to go see a movie. Like I like it. It got me, and like, oh, cool. I'll go to the movies for this. This is great. And Marvel just really hasn't been doing that for me lately. I haven't liked any of the previews that I've seen, and it hasn't been enough for me to plunk down my money for Disney Plus. So I think, but I don't want to criticize it and say that I know that all those shows are trash and that they are, they're garbage, and that's my opinion. I don't know. I'm not going to say they're good or bad. I just know that the trailers haven't really done anything for me, and then the reviews and the people that, because we all watch, we watch people's reviews and things, and we kind of we know who we can believe when someone says a movie is great or a show is great or a game is great. We all have we all have our people that we go to, our influencers or whatever you want to call them, who we trust. And we say, oh, well, this movie was a 10 out of 10. I got to see it. Or this game was a 9 out of 10, and I got to play it. There hasn't been a whole lot of positive feedback that I've seen for Marvel and Disney, what they're doing right now. I just haven't seen, and it's been pretty controversial. Black Widow came out, and I really thought that was that movie it came too late. It came way too late. I really loved Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow. Loved it. Thought she was awesome. I thought for being because she's surrounded by, no, her, and so is Hawkeye. But anyways, she is surrounded by like superheroes, like people with like gods, like Thor and the Hulk, and Captain America. These are individuals who have really specific strengths that are beyond mankind, and she's just an agent. She's a badass agent, but she's highly trained, and I thought she was so great with her combat, the way they had her fighting. It was awesome. I really enjoyed Black Widow through all of the MCU movies. But spoiler alert, in case you haven't seen Endgame, and you probably should, to wrap that tale up, because it was a decent ending, but she dies in that movie. So why did they have a Black Widow movie come out after she was dead? Because now we know it's a prequel and we know where it's going. And I didn't like the fact that they gave her a movie, a solo movie, after she had been killed off. I thought that was kind of lame. And it's Black Widow hasn't done really well. And in fact, there is a lawsuit. There's some legal actions going on between Scarlett Johansson and Disney because, I think it's technically Marvel, but regardless, she's suing them because of some stuff that was going on in terms of like marketing and the fact that her movie was released on their streaming service and in theaters. Whatever. That's, I'm not going to get into the minutia of that, but I really just think that Marvel and Disney they haven't really done that character much justice since Endgame, because her death in that movie was sad. Like, I was genuinely bummed when she died. So I hope that this movie is like the first Venom, plus some. Like, I want it to be better than the first movie, and I want it to be successful. I wanted Black Widow to be successful, but when I saw the trailers, first of all, I was bummed that I was like, well, she's already dead. Who cares? Like, I don't. It's a prequel. Like, I don't know. I just wasn't interested. But and then and I'm not going to sit here and say that the reviewers that I listen to, they know the truth because they're the hardcore fans. That's not what I'm thinking at all. But I listened to a lot of reviewers talk about that movie and review it in great depth, and it just didn't seem like a movie I wanted to watch. So I'll probably catch that movie when it comes out. I think it's already out of theaters by now. I'm pretty sure. I don't even know, but I didn't watch it. But I will give it a watch when it's free. Maybe I'll end up getting a Disney Plus subscription. Maybe, I don't know. But they haven't. So getting back to Disney and Marvel, they haven't really. I don't know. The quality has dipped. And that's just this normal guy's opinion. Again, I'm just a customer. I'm not some sort of like comic book nerd who can tell you the origin stories of every character and who's who, and they didn't do it justice because it didn't adhere to the lore of the books. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying strictly from a customer standpoint, the 10-year run of MCU movies was something special that I don't think we'll ever see again. And I was satisfied with Endgame, and then I was kind of had superhero fatigue. I was like, well, where are they going to go with this after this? Like, what can you do? But I invested 10 years of, discussion and watching movies and my money being spent and seeing movies multiple times in the theaters. So I do feel invested as a customer, but since Endgame, there hasn't been anything to get me invested again. I just have not seen anything that's blowing me away. So I hope that this movie doesn't fall victim to that. Again, Venom is a very particular character because he is very well known. Like, I'm a normie and I know who Venom is, and I've known who Venom is since I was a child. And I never read a comic book. I think I've read one comic book in my entire life, and that was it was Alien versus Predator, and I was like in 5th grade. That's the one comic book that I actually picked up and read. So I'm not a comic book person at all. So recognizing Venom is kind of like Spatman. I love it when we do that cross up words. Batman or Spider-Man or Superman, Wonder Woman. When you hear those characters, you see them, you know who they are. They're very recognizable. And Venom falls in that category for me. For this normie, he's a very well-known character. And I just hope that this movie is successful. I hope it's good. I think I will, I think I'll watch this one regardless. I think this is one of the ones that's worth my time. Cause I'm a big, that's kind of one of the standards that I have when it comes to pop culture in general. And I didn't come up with this. It was actually something I heard from a game reviewer many, many years ago. And he said something that really stuck with me. And it was, does a video game respect your time? Because we only have so many hours in the day that we can actually sit down and enjoy the things we like. You know, because most of the time we're at work, or, you know, if you're a parent, you got to take care of them kids, you know, and it's like there's always responsibilities that get in the way. And so when you have free time to go to the gym or go to the movies or go golfing or catch a baseball game or something, regardless of what it is, your spare time it's precious, you know. And I really appreciated that. Does a video game respect my time? And he was specifically talking about a game that didn't. And I feel that more and more. And I feel like if it's not going, if I see something, instead of just taking in everything and watching everything and trying to watch every single TV show and every single movie and play every video game, I just don't have the time for that. So I'm very particular when I pick up a game or I go to the theater. It's because I really want to go, and it's because I really want to sit down and play that game, or I want to sit down and binge a TV show, you know, with my family. And I hope that Marvel can turn it around, but I haven't. This is probably the first trailer that I've seen from a Marvel movie that I'm interested in. And that's pretty bad because, excuse me, in case you don't know, I have really bad allergies. So when you see me like itching my nose a lot, hear me sniffling, my voice gets all raspy, I have allergies. It sucks. I take allergy medicine all the time too. Excuse me. But back to the topic here with, does it respect my time and is it worth my time? This movie for me, I'm ready to go see it. I've seen enough. I've seen 2 trailers now, and I like, based on the first movie, it seems like it's carrying on. It doesn't seem like they're going to make some big crazy changes to it. So I'm excited for this one. And I haven't been excited for a Marvel movie in a while. And like the Shang-Chi movie that just came out, I was actually going to go see that one specifically because I just started my channel and I want to talk about these things, these movies and games and stuff, and I want to be able to review them. You know, and it's all about, I know I'm not trying to, you know, I'm not trying to sound like I'm better than anybody, but it's like, I don't want to be like rushing out there just to get the clicks. I don't want to go sit through something that I don't really want to watch just so I can get the clicks, so I can get my review out there. I'm for the most part, if it's not worth my time, I'm not going to waste my time and my money, because now that could change. Pardon me. That could change in the fact that if I'm helping you, if my analysis and my reviews and my opinion, because that's all it is. It's just an opinion and it's worth what it costs. If it's going to help you decide on whether or not to spend your money, yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I will start. Maybe I'll go get me a Disney Plus subscription tomorrow, just so I can sit down and watch shows that I don't like. But right now, I'm good. I think I'll just watch the stuff that I want to watch. And that movie, the Shang-Chi movie, and what was it, like Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings, something like that. Those trailers were lame. They were just lame to me. I saw them and I was like, I didn't think they were funny. I didn't. Well, another thing too is I will say this. I will defend Shang-Chi in that you're talking about a character whom this normie has never heard of. I have never heard of that character until that movie came out. So there's the mindshare thing. Is Shang-Chi a popular enough character to have its own movie, or have his own movie, and actually get people in the seats to watch it? Can they make a character that's not really, from my understanding, not a prominent character in Marvel Comics? Can they make him? Can they give him a good enough story and write a good enough script and have good enough supporting characters and a good enough villain to make Shang-Chi worth your time and money? And when I saw that trailer, just nope, wasn't worth my time, wasn't worth my money, so I didn't go see it. And I was going to, like I said. So I don't know. Time is precious, and I'm not trying to waste it on something that I don't really like. And yeah, I think I'll kind of leave it on that. Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. I'm excited for this. I think it looks good. I'm hyped for you know, when this comes out, and I don't even know. Oh, it just says this. That's right. It says this fall. So I don't know the release date, but I'll be checking this one out. So this one you can probably catch. I might actually have a review that comes out the opening weekend. I think I'll do it because I think it's worth my time. I think it is. Yeah, I'm in it for there. It's late and I gotta go to sleep. I gotta get up and go to work. But I appreciate you taking the time. If you liked what you heard, please subscribe. Give me a like, that would be awesome. And you guys have a great week. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.